Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this file and they're saying it's not showing up. They have an Epilogue Fusion Pro. I don't know if I can help you on that aspect, but I'm not a big fan of making your page the size of your wood. You know, so if let's say your Pro is 40 by 28. Because if this thing is not recognizing the laser cutting, maybe you need to go right there and then try that. You need your bed size. Now, a couple of my mentors make their plaques and they're going to change the bed to that size. I'm not an expert in that and I'm not a fan of it. I'll just say that. But there's a couple of things. He didn't ask me to critique it, but I'm going to critique it. I got too much of the truck. This thing, if I get it again, I'm just going to move it back, take that one away. Well, you know what? Whenever you're doing something like this, make you a duplicate of the whole thing and put it away and then grab it. And then when you delete this, you haven't hurt anything. This thing is only less than 1.5 inches tall. I would cut this out by itself because I'm almost going to guarantee you that piece is going to burn out. And I would be truly upset if I did all these and then the foot of the trailer was burned away. And I'm not saying it is, but it's going to be really close to being nothing left. Because if we look, this is only 0.06 of an inch. You know, plywood, the thickness of plywood is 0.125. You know, let's do a piece of plywood. Let's make it, and that would bug me to draw that 0.125. See, that's the thickness of plywood. I got to take away that. You're talking about, you're less than the thickness of plywood thick. So one, I would test that. Two, you are saving a little bit of wood, but you're so close to these other parts that you're gonna have to sand more because you're cutting so close twicely. And the same thing here, you're gonna cut that line twice. I would spread these things, I mean, unless you're just really limited on your wood, I would seriously Control G to group that. I would spread them out a little bit more. You're going to save a little bit of cut time and we could do that, but just for one deal, it's not worth getting rid of that line. I mean, that cut there isn't going to take any time, but I'm afraid you'll be really unhappy with some burn marks, especially if you're cutting out of plywood. The way I do it is 2.85 long. Let's make our nudge factor 2.95. Let's, have them at least that far apart. Let's see how many you had. There are, 75, but there's 15 objects. I'm going to show you that you haven't saved that much space. And then this way they are less than 1.5 inches. Let's set our nudge factor to 1.6. You need to be at least that distance apart so you won't burn up the wood twice. I mean, I've been lasering a long time and all I do is wood. When you're running right here, when you run this cut and run that cut, this is going to get really hot and burn away and it might leave more char, where this is further away. But I would seriously test that first. Test that foot. If it's going to burn away, just make it bigger. And it's really easy to make it bigger. Just take and go and ungroup it. You don't have to do too much work. Get your shape tool, grab those two nodes and bring it up. Well, I got a little bit of an angle. If you do that with the control button on, that can't happen. And then I'd even test that. And, maybe even move these. And So if you ever had to move something minutely like that, set your nudge factor on like 0.01, and you still want this in the center, grab those two nodes and one mouse click or one arrow click. It doesn't really change the alter of the item. Unless I did that, this foot's not symmetrical anyway. So you could make it a little bit more symmetrical by grabbing these nodes. And I'm just being picky. But I'm afraid that's going to burn away. And then if it works, you're good to go. Now those two nodes shouldn't cause any problem. But if I was going to reduplicate everything, I would get rid of all the nodes that are in between straight lines. And that's about it, all that there is. Other than that, I'm sorry I can't help you on, maybe it is if you resize your laser bed to your workpiece and it doesn't work, let me know tomorrow. I'll send it to one of my mentors that has a lot of lasers. Well, might not be at the shop on Saturday, but anyway, good luck with that. Just let me know. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.